Hey guys, so in this video, I'll be going over the basics of CSS. So I'll go over how to initiate CSS in an HTML document, as well as creating a separate CSS file. And over here, I'll go over how to style grouped elements as well as individual elements through classes and IDs. And then lastly, to finish off the video, I'll be going over the box model to create this box. And we'll go over concepts such as padding, margin, and border. And then I'll show you how to create columns and rows using Flexbox. So if this is something you'd like to learn how to do, then watch this video. Okay, so I'll be using the code from the website I created in the HTML tutorial. So I'll link to that video now if you haven't seen that video and followed along to get the same website here. Okay, so we'll be using this website in order to add CSS. And CSS is how you would style the page. So think of HTML as the skeleton and then CSS as the skin of a person. Okay, so back in VS Code, I'm going to show you how to add CSS. Okay, so over here, what we want to do is there's three ways to add CSS to an HTML file. So here in the index page, what we can do is we can style it inline. So that means essentially styling it within the document. So we'll start with that. So we'll start with a basic example of styling the color and size of the homepage title of the H1 title. So to initiate CSS in an HTML document, what you want to do is within the element is use the property style, right? And then we're going to change the font size. So let's change it to 30 pixels. Okay. And then we're going to change the color to, let's say, blue. So how it works is you select the property over here, and then you would add in the value and separate it off with a semicolon to close off that property. So if we check over here, our title is now in blue. And if we inspect the page, we can see over here that the font size has been changed to 30, as before it was slightly bigger. So great, you just added your first style in CSS. Okay, so back in VS Code, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you how to style this internally. Okay, so what you wanna do is over here in the head is we're gonna open up a style element. In order to apply styles to specific elements, we would need to give a classifier for the element which you're trying to manipulate. So in this case, we can use H1. So that'll select all the H1s on the page. So in our case, there's only one H1. Okay, and then we can change the color again to blue. And then the font size to 30 pixels. Okay, and then if we check our website again, and as we can see, the style has been reapplied. If you have a lot of elements on the page that you'd like to manipulate at the same time, you can do that by setting a class for that specific element. Okay, so let's see over here. So let's say for the navigation links here, so we can give a class to the actual UL element. So class is equal to navigation. Okay, and then up in our style over here, in order to call a class, what you want to do is put a period and then call the class. So we named it navigation. Okay, and then we can set the color as well. So let's say color to, say, red, and then text decoration to none. Okay, and then this should remove the underline. So let's check the website. Okay, so we're seeing the red color, but the underline is still showing. So let's go back to our files. Okay, and what we need to do is actually call the actual A tag over here. So what we can do is navigation and then LI and then A. And then that will select the actual element that we're looking to tag. So we're trying to tag these elements, which is within the navigation class and within a link tag. So if we check out the website now, as you can see, the underline has been removed and the color of the text has been changed to red. Okay, so next I'm going to show you how to style just one specific element through an ID. So let's use this paragraph down here. So instead of a class, we're gonna do is put ID, and then this is going to be, let's name it paragraph. Okay, and then up here in the style, what we want to do is instead of doing a period, you want to do the number sign, and that's the selector for an ID, and then we're going to do paragraph. Okay, and then what we're going to do is change the color to orange. And then let's make it, let's say all uppercase, text transform uppercase. Okay, and then let's check out the website now. And as you can see over here, that the text has been updated with our styles. So just for showing that this will only apply to this specific element, I'll just create another paragraph element without the paragraph ID. So if we just copy this and paste it underneath, and then just remove the ID, and then if we check the website, the style isn't being applied. So that's how IDs are useful if you're just trying to style one specific element, because if we did the same method that we did with the links, where you just select, say, the paragraph tag, then it'll apply to every single paragraph element on the page. Okay, great. So now I'm going to show you how we're going to put the CSS in its separate file, which is best practice, as you can keep your CSS more organized and you're able to link the CSS file to multiple pages. Okay, so what you want to do is create a new file. We're going to name it style.css. Okay, and then we're going to copy all of our styles over here and paste it in. Okay, and then we're going to remove all of this. And then we're going to make sure that it's in the head tag. We're going to do link, style sheet, and href style.css. Okay, so let me just remove this, and then I'll show you the website. So if we remove this and go back to the website, all of our styles have been removed. And then let me just re-add the style sheet link. And if we check again, now the styles have been reapplied. So again, what I was saying with how these styles would be applied to the other pages. So if we click the about link, as we can see, the styles are not applied. So if we go back to the about HTML file, and then we paste that link in the head over here, then that styling will be applied. So let's check out our website now. And if we check it out over here, as we can see that the about title has been updated with our styling. But again, our links haven't been applied because we didn't specify the navigation class for the links. So let's do that now. So over here in the UL, what we want to do is put class and then navigation. Okay, and then if we check it out now, as you can see, the styling that we had on the home page is now applied to the about page as well. I hope you're enjoying the video thus far. I just wanted to put a plug on my consultation service. So if you're looking for one-on-one help with your website strategy or looking to learn more about web development, then you can click the link in the description to book a one-on-one consultation with me. Now back to the video. Okay, awesome. Now I'm going to go over something called the box model, which is an important concept in CSS. So it essentially, every element on a page is wrapped within a box. So if we check out the inspector dev tools, if you hover over any element, you see how there's a box surrounding each element. So that's what the box model is. So to finish off the tutorial, what we're going to do is just go over how to manipulate the box around each element. Okay, so I'm just going to create a new element within our homepage. Okay, so I'm going to put it right underneath the image here. So let's do a div. So div, and then we're going to give that div a class of box model. Okay, and then now we can go into our CSS and then call that box model. So the box model contains 4 elements, which are content, padding, borders, and margin. Okay, so I'm just going to give a width and height to our box. let's say 200 pixels and a height of 200 pixels. And then you also need to give it a background color just so we're able to see the box. So give it a background color of black. Okay. So if we check out our homepage over here, as we can see, this is our box that we have created. Okay, now I'm going to show you how border, padding, and margin work. Okay, so we're going to set a border within our box and we're going to give that a different color. So back in VS Code, so we're going to set a border and then we're going to give it say 20 pixels. And then we're going to give it a color of red. And then it's going to be a solid line. Okay, and then if we check out the website now, so as you can see, a border was created to wrap around our div element, which is the black box that we have over here. Okay, so now we have a border. Now I'm going to show you about padding and margin. Back in VS Code, we can set the padding. So the padding is essentially the space within the border and the content. Okay, so what we can do is put padding and then the first number is for the top and the bottom. Okay, so I'll say 20 pixels top and bottom, and then left and right we'll do 30 pixels. Okay, and then let's check that out. Okay, so now we can see that the box has now gotten bigger due to our padding adjustment. So I'll just remove the padding right now so you can see it shrink. So this is without the padding, and then this is when we add the padding. Okay, and then if you're looking to adjust each value individually, then how it works is the first value is the top. So let's say 20 for the top. The right padding right is the next value, and then the bottom is the third value, and the fourth value is the left side. Okay, and then if we check the website now, so that's been adjusted. So the padding top and bottom is 20, and the padding left and right is 30. Okay, and then lastly, we'll add some margin. So margin is the space around the entire element, so above the border. So we'll make it so that there's spacing to the left and the top. Back in VS Code, we'll just add margin. So again, you can adjust each value individually. So margin top, bottom, left, and right. Okay, so we're just gonna adjust the top value to be 20 pixels. So the top and bottom is 20, and then the left and right, let's make it a bit smaller. Let's do 10. Okay, and then let's check out the website now. So as you can see, the spacing has been adjusted towards the left side and the right side as well. And then there's padding at the top, and then there's margin at the top and the bottom. So if we inspect the element, now we can check out the box over here. We're able to see our styles that have been applied. So if we remove our margin, it's back to its original positioning. And when we added the margin, it added the spacing within the next element. So this is how the box model works, and it's essential to understand this in order to space elements correctly within the web page. Okay, so lastly, I'll just show you how CSS is able to create layouts within each element to say be within the same row or the same column. So what I'm going to do is copy the box model class that we created 2 more times. So back in VS Code, I'm just going to take the box model and copy it twice. Okay, and then back on our website over here, we have 3 of these boxes, right? So what I'm going to do is make them so they're all on one row. So we're going to use something called Flexbox. So essentially what you want to do is wrap all of the elements which you're trying to put on one row within a div. So we're going to create a new div and make sure the closing div is within the last box. Okay. And then we're going to give this a class. So we're going to name it, let's say, boxes. And then in our style.css, we're going to call that class, so boxes. And then we're going to give it a display of flex. So if we check out the website now it's all aligned in one row. So again, this is essential if you're trying to style images, or if you're trying to keep images, trying to create an image gallery, right? So being able to manipulate layouts is done through CSS. Okay, and then another important function in CSS is how the element looks like when it's being shrunk down. So as you see over here with the flex, it's able to resize the elements as you reduce the size of the browser. So again, what we can do is for smaller screens to make this a column layout instead of 3x1, right? So back in VS Code, what we can do is within the boxes, you can set a property called flex wrap. So flex wrap and then wrap. Okay, and then if we check the website again, so on larger screens, it's on 3x1, but if you shrink lower, then it goes back to a single column layout. And then as you expand the screen further, then the elements take up the amount of space that's available. Okay, and then lastly, I'll just cover media queries. So essentially you can create different styles depending on the screen size. So let's make it so that on mobile, this image disappears. What you want to do is open a media query within your CSS. Right at the bottom here, we can set a media query. So what you want to do is media screen. Okay, so it's already allowing you to fill it in. So medium screen and max width. So this is the max width of the screen. So let's say for an iPhone, it's about 667 pixels. So again, you can check out Google for all the different sizes of media queries. So usually you'll do 3. So there's mobile, tablet, and desktop, and larger screens like ultra wide monitors. So on mobile screens, we'll make the image hidden. So let's just give that image a name. Okay, so over here in the image, let's just give it the class of banner. And then in styles within our media query, you want to do call the class, so banner, and then display none. Okay, so let's check out the website. Okay, and then we see over here, we have the screen in desktop mode. And then if we shrink it down a bit lower, boom, our image has disappeared. So that's how media queries work, as you're able to adjust the styling of the page based on the size of the browser. And then if we come back in desktop view, then the image reappears. So this concludes the end of the video. I hope you were able to follow along and get a good understanding of CSS. If you're looking for a one-on-one consultation with me, then click the Calendly link in the description. Please like and subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks.